Welcome to the Bright Ideas Podcast.
It's interesting. It was actually one of the very first sentences I said to Brian when I walked in. Brian was the founder of 1-800-GOT-JUNK. When I came in, again, we were a very small company. And I said, we have to build this to be a little bit more than a business and a little bit less than a religion. We've got to get it into that zone of a cult, because the culture is what's going to attract all the new talent that we need. And if we have this hyper growth that we want to do, we need really, really good employees quickly. We need to get them completely wound up like a top, so they're like Energizer bunnies and driving the business forward. And we need to use that same culture to drive more media coverage because we don't have any advertising. So for us, culture was a core strategy for our growth. And I think for any company today, people talk about, how do I motivate employees, or how do I align people, or how do I hold them accountable? Culture does that for you. If you actually build the right company and turn your company into a magnet for talent, business gets really simple. So no, and secondly, I guess to that is, culture is not all the perks. Culture is not the massages and the free lunches and the gaming video game rooms. That's not what culture is. Those are perks. Culture is different.
So what is culture then?
So culture is alignment with vision, deep alignment with vision, so that everyone can see what the CEO can see. I call that the vivid vision. It's alignment with core values, more like an obsession about core values, where you'll fire people if they're breaking the core values. You only hire people who already live and obsess about the core values. And your core values are so important to you that they're not just something up on the wall. And then it's really alignment with, as Simon Sinek, who was on our board at 1-800-GOT-JUNK way before his TED Talk, it's alignment with core purpose, with your why, and really understanding your core purpose and making sure that your employees understand that, so that they see meaning and value in their work. And then lastly, it would be, only working with great people and getting rid of the assholes, so that you get rid of the toxic negative energy. So you have more of that kind of quantum physics approach to energy inside the business.
So here we are recording this in still very much the middle of a worldwide pandemic where a lot of people aren't going to offices. Does this stuff work when everybody's
remote? Yeah. I actually coached the number 2 company to work for in the United States called Acceleration Partners, and Bob Glazier is the CEO. They've got about 180 employees. They've never had an office. They're only remote. They've always been remote. And every single one of these core principles exists. Alignment with vision, for sure. Alignment with core values, the obsession about core values, for sure. Alignment with core purpose, yes. Getting rid of the shitty employees, absolutely. And all those free massages and perks don't matter as much when everybody's remote. So yeah, I think it actually works even more so.
All right. So hopefully by now, people who are listening they've done one of two things. Either they already left and said, nah, that's not for me. I don't care about that stuff. Or we've got their attention. So now that we've got their attention on the importance of culture and the fact that it actually works, whether you're remote or not, let's talk about how you actually go about doing this.
Yeah. And I want to give a data point just so that if anybody's still slightly skeptical, just so they can understand too. So 1-800-GOT-JUNK ranked as the number 2 company in all of Canada to work for. I've also coached companies that went on to become number 2 and another one that went on to become number 12 to work for on Glassdoor. I coached 2 companies that went on to become number 1 to work for in Australia. I coached one company that ranked 5 years in a row as number 1 or 5 years in a row in the top 50 in Canada. One that ranked number 1 in British Columbia, and in the same year, this company ranked number 2 in British Columbia. And then I've got, the best in Florida, the best in Cincinnati, et cetera. So I have a really strong track record of understanding how to turn companies into cults. So the shit works. So if I was to give people the shortcuts, the first one is I'll go alignment with vision, even more so than core values. Everybody has to know where you're going, right? If you don't know where you're going, any road will take you there, right? It's the Cheshire Cat from Alice in Wonderland. I have a big picture of the Cheshire Cat on my wall of my bedroom to remind me on vision. So the idea is that most entrepreneurs have an idea of what their company looks like. They can visualize every aspect of their company 3 years from now, but nobody else around them has any idea of what they're building or what it looks like or what it feels like. And I mean describing your meetings, describing marketing, describing what your customers are saying, describing what the employees are saying, describing your leadership team and your meeting rhythms and how you handle conflict, describing almost as if you were walking around your company 3 years from now, filming it, describing what you see, and then ending up with a 5-page written description of what your company looks like, acts like, and feels like. When you roll that out to every employee, customer, supplier, potential employees, when they read that vivid vision and align with it, that's where culture starts first and foremost. Secondly, it's that obsession about the core values. So I see every business like a jigsaw puzzle, and the 4 corners of your jigsaw puzzle are your vivid vision, your core values, your core purpose or your why, and then the BHAG, that Jim Collins term, that big, hairy, audacious goal that most people completely screw up, and they say it's a million somethings or a billion whatevers, and that's not a BHAG. So the core values, the second cornerstone or second corner of your jigsaw puzzle, have to be 4 or 5 core values. They have to be very easy to understand. The reason you can't have like 10 core values is it's too many. These have to be the core, that you're willing to fire people if they break them. You can have others that are aspirational values that you'll work towards, but what are the ones that you're willing to fire people if they break them, right?
Give us some examples, maybe from Junk or one of the other companies.
Deliver what you promise. Respect the individual. Pride in all you do. Find a better way. Have some fucking fun. Like, just those are so simple, right? Mm-hmm. Like, if somebody's coming to the office every day and they're a stress case and they're so serious and they're not having a good time, it doesn't matter how good the results are. They're throwing off so much toxic energy through the organization that they're actually slowing things down. But when you bring in people that have good energy, regardless of if they're a payroll clerk or a product engineer or a customer service person, when they have that good, amazing, fun energy aligned with the vision, aligned with purpose, that energy begets more energy. It transfers to the customer. It transfers to profitability. So it's 4 or 5 core values, very easy to understand. They should be simple phrases, not single words, because single words can be confusing. In fact, the only time I've let any of my clients have a single word as a core value, and this is a company that went from 40 employees to 700 while I coached them. One of their core values was the word simplify. And I'm like, fuck, you nailed it. Like, it's so good. Right? I'm like, yes, that one you can have as a single word, but the rest have to be short phrases because it's so good. And Bobby Harris, the CEO, repeats the core values all the time. He calls people on the core values. He praises people on the core values. He mentions them. He holds them up to you like a mirror. And that's where culture really comes from, is when you obsess about, and then you recruit people who already live them. They asked Herb Kelleher from Southwest Airlines, how do you get all your employees to smile like that? He said, we hire smiley people. So how do you get your employees to live core values? You hire people who already live those core values, period. You recruit for it. You polarize. You push the wrong ones away in your job postings. You push them away in the interview process. So you only end up with that magnetic force, like a cult, right? Mm-hmm. The third is that core purpose. It's understanding why you exist. So for my organization and all my employees, my core purpose is helping entrepreneurs make their dreams happen. That allows me to say yes to projects and no to projects. So saying yes to be on your podcast is easy because we help entrepreneurs make their dreams happen. My Second in Command podcast, all 5 of my books, my coaching, my CEO Alliance, everything I do helps entrepreneurs make their dreams happen. And if a government group calls me to say to be on, I know, I don't want to work. Government wants me to speak. No. A big corporate group. Nope. It's all got to be in that, because I come off wrong. If I'm in a corporate world, I don't resonate as well, right? I need to be in that entrepreneurial kind of 20 employees to 1,000 employees is my zone.